Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the much anticipated edition of Bomber Talk. We are here in the cockpit, we're fueled, we're ready to go. The plane is fully loaded. I've got my latte care of Windy's fine establishment, and it's Captain Hopwood with co-pilot Bryce Walsh. Walshy, welcome on board.
Thanks for having me, Hoppy. Really good to be here again. It's been a long time, but yeah, looking forward to it.
Well, when we've had that big bag of mail just sort of saying, when is Walshy coming back? And here you are now. We have got a few big games to talk about, and the first one to go to, and what a very big build-up it was the Stay Chatty Cup. And the special Guernsey, as we can lift that up here, Brycey, was struck. And we have to thank Andy Lydon for putting his hand in his skyrocket for coming on board. But what a fine thing it was, and a great charity, of course. It means a lot to us. And Clarence, the Stay Chatty Cup.
Yeah, definitely, Hoppy. I know a couple of the boys at the footy club were quite close with Ty.
Yes.
And, you know, I know the foundation means a lot to them, and to be able to have the day here at Lauderdale and get the specially made jumpers and have it against our rival Clarence, it was a fantastic day for a fantastic cause, and I was very proud to be a part of it.
It was, and moreover, the work that they are doing within the community, trying to put people within schools, it's an important thing. I know a lot of you young guys, you try to be tough and keep things inside, but it's a matter of saying, are you all right? Let's talk, and you can share your challenges, and that's what it is all about. And of course, there was a lot of talk and build up for that big anticipated clash. Tell me, what is it like, the build up to the Clarence game?
Yeah, it's massive. You're at work and you're getting asked questions from colleagues and at my work members. They're all pretty interested to know about it, and everywhere you go there's sort of, you know, you're getting newspaper articles and news on the news each night, so it's all for a good cause, you know, to get, you know, a good crowd here to hopefully watch a really, really exciting game. And, you know, the day that was brought for the Speak Up Stay Chatty game, it's fantastic. It's
interesting because you and I were talking a little bit off camera a few minutes ago, back when I had colour in my hair, things were different, and you were talking about your granddad, and your grandma keeps a scrapbook of some of the great traits that you've been up to and regaled about, so you'll be able to show your kiddies when you've spawned a couple of young men running around, Bryce. But tell me what happened about your granddad.
Nan, you know, she's probably my biggest supporter. She will tell everyone how good I am, whether that's true or not. I don't know, but yeah, she likes to keep a little scrapbook of some stuff for me, you know, for future reference if I want to use it. And my pop sparked up and said, "I bet you, champ, you haven't been on the back of a fan lid," and rang out his little bottle cap lid with a picture of him when he was playing at Clarence back in the day on a fan lid. So, Pop, you got me there. I haven't got on the back of a fan lid yet, so...
Fantastic. That's what it was like, but now you guys, you're pretty fit and all the rest of it, and we knew, as we said, it was going to be a cracker of a game against Clarence. It was expected to be a big crowd. Well, they were lining up from Lauderdale back up to the Rugby Academy. A huge crowd, reported to be upwards of 4,000. It was a finals atmosphere, and didn't you come out to play, Bryce? You had a fantastic first quarter of footy.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be hot first up. The crowd was very loud and made the game quite intense first up, and you know, there was a bit of argy-bargy went on in the first quarter as expected. Both sides really excited about the occasion, and I think we just were able to hold our head during that time, and we got rewarded with a couple of goals on the board, and yeah, good on the boys for that.
So 10 goals to 3 at a half time.
Yeah, Windy, you know, spoke to us, and he was very happy with the way we sort of conducted ourselves through that little bit of argy-bargy at the start, and we were able to, you know, play some of our good football that we've been looking for a couple of games, and yeah, we started to, you know, kick away a few goals, and yeah.
Third quarter, championship quarter, I guess there was a sense of celebration about the occasion and against, moreover, how the Lauderdale Football Club was going. someone forgot to tell Clarence. They came out with 7 goals. At what point did we think, hello, we've got to concentrate again? I mean, they never give up. And I guess that'd be the same said about us against them. It's always going to be a game. There's going to be momentum that's going to swing, but swing. 7 goals to Clarence. They really came hard.
Yeah, to their credit, they came out after half time, and had a massive crack. They've got some really good players in the midfield with Cox, Callan and Brady Jones, and a lot of those players got a fair bit of the ball and put some pressure on us on the scoreboard. And they sort of came out and put it on top of us, and it was up to us to respond from there.
Which we did, and we came home and with a very, very solid victory, and it was Lauderdale 16-16, 112 to Clarence 10-9, 69. Absolute fantastic game, fantastic day. It was Wiggins who kicked 5 goals up forward, was a focal point. I like to see when the big man leads out and puts the dukes up. Not only does he provide a target, but moreover than that, front and centre those guys, he's going to bring the ball down. So I thought he was great. Young Nicky Dodge was very, very elusive. And the man who got the medal for best on ground was Jack Siggins. You might have been a bit stiff. You had a cracking game as well. But Jack, Jumpin' Jack, every tap, he was over the top, played an outstanding game. And so with that being said, there was just nothing to do but enjoy the win, Bryce.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And as you said with Jack, he thoroughly deserved best on ground. I thought his presence out there with his ruck work was fantastic and gave our midfielders first use. Arguably probably the best ruckman in the league at the moment, Siggo. So, if he continues his good form, he's going to help us, for our quest in the finals and throughout the rest of the season. So, big credit to him.
And from the middle, the rebounds, and Siggins with a big tap. Ball comes down towards centre half forward. This is Walsh in the helmet this week. Gets around onto the left. Oh, what a ripper. Lauderdale absolutely pumping the Roos here at Beakley Park.
Another one, I think, before we move on to the next game, I was very impressed with. What mightn't have had massive stats was Ben McGuinness. I thought who did just such a great job. He reminds me of a great white shark. His eyes roll back in his head. He doesn't have any colour. He has no sense of it, and he just goes about his duties, just swimming around, just picking off his targets, methodically going about his work. What's he like when you train against him? He'd be a shocker, wouldn't he? If you go the old 2-on-2, the old-fashioned stuff, you'd go to the back of the line. You wouldn't want him, would you?
Yeah, Benny, he's got a bit to say, but he's a fantastic footballer. He's still only young, but you've seen at senior level and both with Tasmania, he's been a fantastic player. And I'm good mates with his brother Josh, and they've got some similar characteristics between the two of them. They're both pretty aggressive and as I said, they're both pretty good at football as well. So
can play.
Yeah, so it's good.
Well, it was a fantastic win, as we said, and it moved on to the next week where we host Hobart City. They came down. I guess, truth be known, it was something that it would have taken a lot out of you, the Clarence game, but this was a team that are below us. They were improving. They've had some fantastic results, haven't quite got over the line. And how did you feel when we saw the Development League running around there in snow? I can recall now the old phone got a bit of a buzz. I looked down and here was a little text from my son, young Henry. He was laying on the beach on the Gold Coast, 28 degrees. He said, "How are you going, Ando?" It's just as the snow was coming down. It was not great conditions. It was a little bit boggy out there, Bryce, and we had the ascendancies to start with, but they just didn't want to go away, did they? No,
Hobart City, I think personally they've got a very good list, well structured by Kane Richter over there, and I really respect them as a team, and they came out and challenged us all day. There wasn't much separating the two of us. The conditions weren't fantastic. Can't say I've played in snow too many times in my career, even living in Tasmania, but the oval at Lauderdale was quite muddy, and they bottled it up really well and kept us pretty close. So
I was interested in some of the performances. One that stood out for me was young Mitch Anderton, very slight of body. But if you look at his stats, and I don't have them in front of me, but when he gets the old footy, he does something with it every time. He sort of shows some poise and class. He had a fantastic under-16 carnival just recently in Queensland, representing Tasmania. It must be exciting, and I'm also laughing internally here because I'm talking to one of the old blokes at, the rare old age of, 22, Bryce, just turned. That all goes well for the club, but you must be enthused to think you're playing with blokes like Jack Siggins, who's at one end of the spectrum, playing really good footy. We're getting some great performances from some guys who are just starting out in their careers. Your very good self have now got 100-odd games under your belt. It must be a reasonable feel for the club.
Yeah, definitely. Having a couple of those younger faces in sort of gives me a flashback to when I was sort of starting off in my senior career. So to have Mitchie and Blakey Newell playing seniors, and we've had a couple more, Joshy Williams and a few of those boys coming up and having a run in the seniors, it sort of puts it back into perspective for when I was playing at that age. And I try and help those guys out as much as I can because I respect the blokes that helped me when I was coming through, and to their credit they all come here and knuckle down and really want to get better each week, so it makes it easy for us sort of boys.
Well, it came down to that last quarter, Brycey. We had a reasonable lead, but of course we were kicking up into a pretty fierce sort of breeze, and they came home with the proverbial wet sail. I don't know if actually we saved 2 points or how it turned out. I think it was 2 points lost to start with, but with a couple of minutes to go, Hobart City doing the attacking, it was almost like we gained the 2 points. It's a funny feeling when in the end you come away with the draw, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sort of like dancing with your sister when you get a draw. It's pretty awkward, but I think both teams weren't too impressed with the result. We thought that if we play our best football we could get the win, and it would help us set up our season, but it wasn't to be. Hobart City played really well and kept it to a draw, so we'll take it as it comes, but coming to the pointy end of the season, that's probably not going to cut the mustard for us. So
yeah, we need to improve on that, but it certainly does give us that opportunity. It cemented our spot, and that's the really important thing for us. We needed to not lose. Devonport were on the charge. We wanted to maintain our position, and it was. Lauderdale 4 inaccurately 15 behinds 39 to the fast finishing Hobart City 5-9 39. From that game, it was then down the highway to visit the Tigers. And I guess, moreover, with no disrespect to the Tigers, I want to place you in the position now that they had a really good year last year. They had some good wins. This year they had a couple of beltings and they were probably vulnerable, and we'd had a couple of up weeks. How was our lead up to that particular game?
We go down when we play any side and we show them the respect that is due, because all the teams in the league now can beat you on your day if you're not gonna turn up and play your best footy. So we went down there was no illusions that Tigers were going to come out and that they had some pride to play for, even though their season hasn't finished yet, but they've got no final. So I don't know, they've got some stuff they want to work on and so forth, and if they could cause a boil over and beat us, then it's good for them. But we went down there with the mindset that we needed to get the win, and that would lock in fourth spot for us. So
I'm interested in the psychology of football sometimes, Bryce. I don't mind a theory on two in the football. At half-time, we're sitting 6-1. Did we reassess? How did we reassess to think where we were at and how were we going to get back from here? Because the Tigers were playing some terrific footy, and the more good things that they did, the more belief that they had in that they could beat Lauderdale Football Club.
Yeah, the Tiger boys played really, really well in the first half. They had a little bit to say, and as they should, because to be honest, they were all over us like a rash, and the football they were playing was fantastic, and they were playing sort of the style that we wanted to play ourselves. So we had a chat at half time, we regrouped, made mention to a couple of things, and we worked on those things straight after half time, and to the boys' credit, we fought back and work well.
Yeah, certainly in that last quarter we were waiting as spectators for the Lauderdale flotilla to really wake up, and that's what happened. I think it was a 6-goal last quarter and some terrific performances in what was disappointing, but that's not fair to the Tigers because they really came out and played, and some of the young boys did great performances down on what was a really beautiful deck. And it was Lauderdale 11-19. That accuracy, Bryce, we'd like to think that we actually stay out a little bit after the game, after training, and maybe get the set shots going.
Yeah, definitely.
To the Tigers 9-13-67. Having said that, there was a young man named Walsh, just happened to get 3 goals, which is fantastic. Blakey Newell, one of the young men who last year was playing under 16 football, came out with a couple. Alex Hill kicked one, and that was another thing out of that game. I think Coach Winder would be happy that he threw the team around a bit, and it provided that a Cassidy can go back if needed, that a Hill can go forward if needed, and so out of sometimes adversity can provide some gems.
Yeah, definitely, Hoppy. Windy changed the team around, trialled some boys in some new positions, which, that flexibility coming into finals could be crucial for us to change it up. So, to those boys' credit, they played really good football and they changed the roles around. So, it was good.
Well, this week we have a spell. It's the bye for us as we regroup and ready for our next big match. Now, Brycey, our next match is on August the 13th. Can you tell our very dear viewer out there who that is against?
Again, we play against our arch rival Clarence here at Lauderdale. Definitely going to be a good game to come and have a look at. I think it's Clarence's last game for the season.
It is. It's their grand final. No doubt about that.
And another game for our preparation going into finals. So I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic game to come and have a look at, and there's going to be some really good footy on display.
So a very big week. You have this week to regroup, ladies and gentlemen, but then next week you've got to get the black shoes out, you've got to get the dress out, because I know you've been working on what sort of hairstyle and a bag of fruit that you're going to wear. It's the black and red ball, which is the gala event for the season. That is on Saturday the 13th of August. But prior to that, make sure you get there early and beat the crowds. Get a prime position in readiness for the Clarence Lauderdale game Mark II, and that'll be a cracker. Brycey Walsh, we think you're a star now and you're a fine young man representing the Lauderdale Football Club. We thank you very much for being our co-pilot. Make sure your belt's on as we take off, and we say look forward to seeing you at Lauderdale Oval on the 13th. Brycey, good luck with that.
Thanks very much, Hoppy, for the day.
It's my pleasure, son. You know who knows that. Make sure you get behind the Bombers. Thank you very much.
Our boys who play this grand old game are always striving for glory and fame. See the Bombers fly up, up the